Ladies and gentlemen, it is June the 26th, and that of course means the Steam Summer Sale deals are pressing forward. So in this Red Gaming Telecom video, we're going to be giving you the best deals and which games are probably worth skipping, at least for now. So first one we're going to start with, I think, is a classic, Resident Evil 4. In fact, the entire Resident Evil franchise is here. So, Resident Evil 4, this is the HD port to the PC, where of course there have been some graphical improvements to the textures and a few other bits and pieces. So, to begin with, let's point out that the price in pounds is $8.99. On the other hand, if you're paying in dollars, you're going to be paying $11.99. So, it's not too bad at all. That's 40% off. I half expected the price to be lower than that, to be honest, maybe 50%, but whatever. So the question is, should you pick it up? Yes, if you've not played Resident Evil 4 or you don't own a good version of it. Personally speaking, I think it does look quite nice on the PC, particularly if you do force levels of anti-aliasing. Personally speaking, I think it plays better with a controller, regardless of the fact that it has fairly decent keyboard and mouse support. As a slight caveat, the movies have not been upsampled. If you want more information about this, I have got a Let's Play of this, well, in its entirety actually, on the channel. And just to keep you guys apprised, there's also 75% off Resident Evil 6 and Revelations, but Resident Evil 5, for whatever reason, has zip off 0. Personally speaking, Resident Evil 6 is okay. It's definitely the weakest out of the main survival horror titles of Resident Evil. I'm not talking about like the gun games and stuff like that. It's okay. If you've not played it, for the price, could be worth picking up, if only for the storyline. Revelations, on the other hand, is pretty damn good, and is basically a remake of I believe it's 3DS title. Very good. I would recommend. So, Resident Evil 4, pretty good. The movie upsampling, well, just hasn't happened. So, it still basically looks like people have smeared Vaseline over the lens. But Resident Evil 4 is still a classic anyway. Next up, we have Rome Total War, or Total War Rome 2, to actually give it its proper name. So this is available for a rather okay 66% off. It's not the best, but it's not too shabby, in my personal opinion. So, just to let you know, it's also £10.19, or I think I've given the dollar price already, but I'll just give it again, $20.37. So this is a sequel, of course, to one of the greatest loved games out there. It's certainly one of the biggest franchises. If you're interested in RTS, it's a good, solid title in terms of like the ideas behind it, but there were a hell of a lot of bugs in this. At launch, some people found it basically unplayable because boats would literally go across land. I am not kidding you. Armies would basically get stuck, and AI and pathfinding was pretty atrocious. They have released a bunch of patches which does fix a lot of this, as far as I'm understanding, but I haven't really done much research on the latest builds, so personally speaking, it's a very good game. People gave it good reviews, but they just said that the bugs really screwed up their experience. Personally, what I'd do, check out a couple of reviews or a couple of bug fixes, and maybe ask in a forum or something to ask what the state of the game is now. Left 4 Dead 2. So, of course, this one's from Valve, and it is $4.99 in US dollars. On the other hand, if you're playing in Great British pounds, it's going to be $3.74. So us Brits get a pretty good, solid deal here. There's not really much to say about this one because I think everyone knows about it. The idea, of course, is you're playing a survivor in a zombie apocalypse, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Optionally, you can play in a group, but by optionally I mean really that's the best way to play the game, and no other way is really going to be as fun. Relying on AI partners is dubious at best. Personally speaking, I would recommend buying this if you can convince a buddy or two to kind of join in. It's better, of course, to play with friends compared to, let's say, playing with random people, because obviously you've got the camaraderie and better teamwork to fall back on. That being said, it's still a very solid game, it's still well played online, and personally I would recommend it. Even if the market is somewhat saturated at the moment with these type of games, it was certainly one of the first. Civ 5 is up next, yet another RTS, but this one's a bit different. We'll speak about that in just a moment. 75% off means it's going to be $7.49 in US dollars, whereas us Brits get to pay a pretty respectable price, actually $4.99. This is a little bit different to Rome. The difference here is that you're basically trying to create a civilization rather than focused on, let's say, winning certain battles. This is, you can go more the diplomatic route, you can go more like the evil monger of doom and pretty much conquer everyone, or you can go more sensible, or not more sensible, but you can become more diplomatic and you can maybe forge alliances with other nations and so on. This game, in my personal opinion, is certainly one of the more infamous titles. I would give you a lot more details, but to be honest, it's pointless because there is a demo of this one available. So if you've not already tried it out, go ahead and check it out. I personally think it's a pretty good title. Banished is next. No demo of this one available, just for your FYI. It's $9.99, that's dollar price, and if you're paying in pounds, it will set you back the princely sum of $7.49, so us Brits once again get a reasonable price here. I don't know particularly that much about this game. The idea is it's, once again, the idea of being a city building game with strategy. You pretty much create a town and a thriving location for your settlers to, well, survive in. I would personally do a bit of checking on this one. I don't personally know much about it. From what I've read, it seems fairly reasonable, like solid, but obviously your mileage may vary. Speaking of your mileage may vary, and I don't think there's any other way of putting it other than this one, Train Simulator 2014. So this is, what is this, $8.24. That's 85% off the complete price. Or, if you're paying in pounds, this will cost you $5.24. So once again, us Brits get a fairly good deal. I'll just be totally and utterly honest, I cannot inform you with this game. It's never interested me, I've never done any research. I've heard mixed things. Some people have said it's recommended, other people have said it's not recommended, and I don't know, maybe if you're a rail enthusiast you'll feel differently. I can't really give you that much more information on this. I know that's not particularly helpful, but there you go. Sorry. Europa Universal S4 actually is 75% off, $9.99. That's dollars, and if you're paying in pounds, it's going to cost you $8.74. So not an amazing deal for us Brits, but we certainly don't get destroyed. There's a demo of this one available, so I'd personally recommend that you check it out rather than me giving you a load of information. It's a little bit more along the lines of Civilization, in that it's more of a grand strategy type of title. It's fairly recommended. The score's okay in Metacritic and so on. Personally, once again, try out the demo. There's just no reason not to, really, because it's, well, free. Next up, Dishonored. 75% off, sorry. $4.99, that's obviously dollar price, and us Brits actually get a really good deal here. It's actually half the dollar price, well, $2.49, so pretty much what it should be in terms of currency conversion, but whatever. That's just the base game. You can pick up the Game of the Year edition, which is going to cost you just over $10. Unfortunately, there's less of a reduction on that. It's only 66% off. Here's the thing. Dishonored is amazing. It was easily one of my favourite games of 2012. It does have a couple of weaknesses on combat. I have done a first impressions review on this as well as all of the DLC, and just for your FYI, all of the DLC is also 50% off, and it's, for the most part, the Brigmore Witches as well as the Knife of Dunwell, it's pretty damn solid. It's not, amazing, but it's pretty damn solid. Not quite up there with the single player, like the base game, but it's still very good and does give you a lot of explanations onto parts of the storyline that you might not have personally had if you just played the experience with Corvo. It looks quite amazing. There are some fairly low resolution textures here and there, but lighting on this game is very impressive, and overall it runs extremely well on the PC. It's actually pretty well optimized. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so of course this is AC4. It's available for $19.99 if you're paying just for the standard edition. There are tons of other AC games, but I'm not going to bother to list all of them here because you've got like AC3, Revelations, Brotherhood, blah 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 blah. 50% off, as I said, for the standard retail version of the game. That's $19.99, or if you're paying in pounds, us Brits get absolutely shafted here because it's also $19.99. I've got to say that I think overall, graphically, let's discuss graphics, it's definitely better than even the PS4 version, particularly if you're an Nvidia owner where you can enable hardware physics. Definitely the particle effects look quite nice. I have done a graphics comparison versus the consoles. Overall, it plays quite well in terms of frame rate. It's maybe not as optimized as what it could possibly be, and you do get the feeling that at times it doesn't really need the rig that it actually asks for, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, it is a solid Assassin's Creed title. If you're into the series, then you could certainly do much worse than picking it up. It actually looks fairly pretty, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. That's about it, actually. I've had a quick look at the flash deals, and I don't know anything about any of those games. And the community choices on, I can tell you that Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition, of course, is worthy of a recommendation. But other than that, I've not played any of the other games, so I'm not going to give you information. Actually, wait. Blockland, I believe Amata did a first impressions review, so you can check that out on the channel if you need more information. But that's about it. So, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.